Hey everybody, welcome back to Movie Master yet again, and today I've got some awesome stuff. Two or three awesome things to talk about. Now, as you guys recently know, September 9th, yesterday, was the PlayStation live stream, and two new Marvel games have been announced. There are many new games set for the PlayStation's future. One game in particular was made, so here's the first one we're going to cover. The Wolverine game. This is the first Wolverine game in a few years, because, well, there's not been that many, and now that they have the rights back from Fox and all that hullabalub, they now can make a new game. So far, here's what we know. It will be called The Marvel's Wolverine, and we've already seen the title review, and it'll be an exclusive PlayStation game. Either that or be a cross-generation. It's unknown, I don't know at this point, but another thing is that it will be made by Insomniac Games. Now, I am hyped and extremely know that this company can do it well. They're great when it comes to making video games, and I was actually taken by shock when I found out that it was actually Insomniac. I was shocked when I found out it was a Wolverine game, and I was shocked to find out there was another Marvel game in production, and I was also shocked to find that it was going to be by Insomniac Games. Because while other companies like Square Enix has been handling the Avengers games and doing that universe. So I'm really hoping that the Wolverine game will tie into Spider-Man PS4. I hope that not all the games are separated from each other. I would have liked it if Guardians of the Galaxy and the Marvel's Avengers were both set in the same continuity. And that would just make so much expansion. That's why I like for Marvel's Spider-Man and the Wolverine, to be connected. It'll make so much expansion on the world and lore of the characters. I'm hyped for this to happen. So Wolverine, all we know is it's a PlayStation game. It'll be made by Insomniac Games, and it will likely have a new creative director behind it. Likely Brian Intihara will likely be behind the wheel for the next Spider-Man game. So yeah, this Wolverine game, as far as I know, I'm hyped. I'm hoping that a lot of Wolverine fans are excited to finally see their big claw man get the representation he deserves. And Insomniac Games is great at giving representation to characters. So yeah. But yeah, by the looks of it, it looks good, and I cannot wait to see what they do with it. I will be buying it, and will be playing it, and will be reviewing it when it releases. Now let's get to the main point of this video. Marvel Spider-Man 2 for the PS5. It has finally been revealed. The thing that Spider-Man game fans, and especially Spider-Man fans who have played the first two games, have been waiting for. Marvel Spider-Man 2, the sequel to Marvel Spider-Man PS4 and Marvel Spider-Man Miles Morales, is officially been revealed. This is a teaser trailer, an official teaser trailer. This is similar to the explosion that happened with Miles Morales. Now, like it's been said, Miles Morales was not a sequel. It is a standalone game. Now, sadly, and I'm not surprised this happened, it's been pushed to a 2023 release date. I'm not surprised it's a 2023 release date, considering the fact that, well, I'm not surprised it's a 2023 release date, considering that, well, it would take realistically 4 to 5 years. So I'm not surprised they never got a late 2022 release date, because there have been too many things getting made then, and not to mention they have a Wolverine game to make, so I'm not surprised. As you guys may know, recently they have just finished Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart, and they are now going to start focusing all their attention on Spider-Man, PS4 2, and Wolverine. I'm not surprised that they're giving them extra characters to do, since Marvel has now started realizing that Square Enix hasn't been able to handle the Avengers well, so maybe before giving them another big group of characters that are popular, it's better to give a character like Wolverine to Insomniac Games to make. Another character like Insomniac Games to make a spin-off of is the Hulk, considering he has not gotten the reception of games. I'd like to see him get a game personally. But nonetheless, here's what we know so far. The game is releasing around early to mid-2023, and it will be a sequel. And I'm not surprised it's releasing it, considering if you count the years it was made. It started production writing the script in 2019. A lot of the people who wrote the script hinted at the fact that it'd be a script writing. Likely, whatever script was made got sent in, and it got put into pre-production. Obviously, due to Miles Morales and due to the COVID pandemic, Miles Morales would have had to get put in production. So obviously, Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart and Marvel Spider-Man 2 would have been put on the back burner. Well, so like mainly two games are mostly developed in Insomniac. Right now, Marvel Spider-Man and then Ratchet & Clank. So when Marvel Spider-Man had Miles Morales had been finished and pressed for release by around August, September, and pushed around the world, then after that was Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart, which was released in 2021 or 2020. 2021, I think. Once that was done, now they're put on the front line is Marvel Spider-Man PS5, is Marvel Spider-Man 2. And on the back burner is the Wolverine game that we're releasing later around this time. Now, I do not mind whenever it releases, I still don't mind getting it. Now, as we know, Marvel's Spider-Man 2 will obviously be a PS5 exclusive game, and it looks like, by the looks of it, the graphics will show us that it's a PS5 game. Obviously, just from the one small clip, it won't be as good as it always is. There'll be some downsides there'll be some downgrades when we get the actual game, obviously. And obviously, that scene is obviously all made for, well, it's made or for the trailer, and the cinematic shot is a bit weird. Now, as you guys may know, Yuri Lowenthal will be coming back to reprise his role as Peter Parker, aka Spider-Man, with Ben Jordan returning as the facial capture. Now, as you guys may know, when the remaster game for Spider-Man PS5 came out, it obviously changed the face of Peter. Some fans liked it, most fans hated it, some fans liked it, some were in the middle. I'm like them, I'm in the middle. Me and my friend, some of the friends I have that play the game, also in the middle. I don't mind the face change. Like I said, there'll likely be some upgrades to make them look older though. So not only we're getting 3 successive years of amazing Spider-Man content, this year we have gotten, so for the past few years we've gotten some nice Spider-Man content. 2002 we got Spider-Man 2002, 2003 we got the new animated series, 2004 we got Spider-Man 2, 2005 we got Ultimate Spider-Man, 2007 we got Spider-Man 3, 2008 we got Spider-Man with Shadows, and 2008 to 9 we got Spider-Man, Spectacular Spider-Man, 2010 we got Spider-Man Shared Dimensions, 2011 Spider-Man Edge of Time, 2012 The Amazing Spider-Man plus its game, and also Ultimate Spider-Man, going from 2012 to 2017, Marvel's Spider-Man, and in between that, The Amazing Spider-Man 2, Spider-Man Homecoming, Far From Home, and obviously the Marvel Spider-Man game that came out in 2018, The Amazing Spider-Man 2 game that came out all the way back in 2014, Miles Morales, and now the newly coming out next month, Venom Let There Be Carnage, along with No Way Home releasing in December. So for this year, we're getting Spider-Man No Way Home. Next year, we're getting Spider-Man to the Spider-Verse. The year after, we're getting Spider-Man PS4 2. Spider-Man, my old Marvel's Spider-Man 2 is it's not called. And thankfully, unlike Channel Papa said, it's not called Spider-Man. That would just sound like a dumb name. So yes, and like it's already been said, we will finally get to see Peter and Miles fight side by side. And I'm wishing that it's a co-op game, or like one of those games where even if there's no second player, the story will still go out the same way, or you can switch between the two. So like if there's here's what I wish they would do. So you can have 2 players. It's a 2-player game. So one can play as Peter, one can play as Miles. And if the second player drops out, the game will still continue the same way. And you can switch between the two if you want. So yeah. And obviously, I hope that they bring back all the past suits. But obviously not unlock them, not have them automatically. But maybe, yeah, take some time to unlock some of them. But yeah, and obviously I hope that they finally do what everyone's been predicting. So here's what we know so far about Marvel's Spider-Man. So, number 1, Brian O'Hara is indeed returning to be creative director, as many have been stated and confirmed by Brian Horton and O'Hara himself. He will be indeed returning to do and creative direct and make the Marvel Spider-Man 2 game. Number 2, Insomniac Games will obviously be coming back to make the game and develop it, as they have so far been the most trustworthy developers, and yeah. And it's nice seeing their 3rd game in the Spider-Man roster. And for once, it's actually, hopefully, a sequel that will live up to the name of its predecessor. A lot of Spider-Man sequels have often seemed to drag down on the load. Then, a lot of times, they've often fell down low. Edge of Time and The Amazing Spider-Man 2 have often done that. Some sequels like Spider-Man 2, and even underrated ones like Spider-Man 2 into Electro, can even do decent with it. Even though Spider-Man into Electro came out at a very, very rough time. But nonetheless, Marvel's Spider-Man, obviously, number 3, the release date will be indeed 2023. It will likely be early to mid-2023, considering by then all the COVID stuff in America and here would have likely died down by that time. So it's likely that at that point, we wouldn't have gone to push to late 2023. It will likely be early to mid. Number 4, obviously, it will likely have Venom and Kraven the Hunter as the villains. Now, Kraven the Hunter is a very unique villain to feature in Spider-Man, in my opinion, considering the last game he's featured in was The Amazing Spider-Man 2, and yeah. And as we see before, Peter is not mentioned facing off against Kraven the Hunter, so obviously this will be Peter's first SmackDown. And I believe this foretells that there'll be a Kraven the Hunter solo movie, considering that there is a mentioning of a Kraven the Hunter spinoff. And since he's not featured in No Way Home, that means he'll likely get his own movie. So yeah. Let's continue on nonetheless with the number 5, Venom will be in the game. Now, spoilers for those who did not watch the trailer. Venom is finally coming into this game, and I'm so excited. And obviously, that means the black suit Spider-Man will undoubtedly be making an appearance in the game. Now, unlike a lot of other people who were disappointed in Venom being in the first game, I disagree. Venom should have not been in the first game. The way that the story was going and everything they wanted to do, putting Venom in the game would have put too much pressure on the developers, and yeah, it just wouldn't have worked, in my opinion. Like how they did with the Amazing Spider-Man 2 or the Spider-Man 1 game. Obviously, the Spider-Man 1 game was following a storyline from the film, but the Amazing Spider-Man 1 wasn't. But you get my point. That I don't think it was good that they included Venom in the first game. It wouldn't have worked with the story they were trying to tell. And the book and the comics weaved around that story. And obviously, Miles Morales was obviously a great standalone game and an amazingly transition over from PS4 to PS5. And unlike some people who don't really like that, some people, most didn't mind it. Obviously, due to COVID, they had to make it a cross-gen title. But now, since we are now in the I'm not surprised they chose 2023, considering that, well, obviously, well, the PS5 is having a bit of trouble trying to get out there, and they need to restock and redesign it, so I'm not surprised they're releasing it. I'm pretty sure there was going to be a redesign. If there isn't, then, oh well, I'll just have to get the original. But yeah, so yeah, hopefully we will finally be able to get a Spider-Man 2 sequel, and it's been something that we've all been waiting for, and I like it because it will come out a year after the Spider-Man anniversary. I thought it would be better to make it come out 2022, considering the anniversary, the year of the anniversary, like it's been about nearly something many years since Spider-Man was created back in 1962 by Stan Lee and Steve Ditko, but 2023 is fine, and I'm very excited and hyped to wait for this movie to come out, and I'm just hyped. I'm excited to see the movie game release. Sorry, I meant game. I said movie. I'm just too hyped. This is awesome, okay? It's awesome. It's amazing. I cannot wait to see what will happen. The next video will be a quick one of telling us what will be happening so far.